Great news! I no longer have writer's block. Bad news! The Trolls movies were the cure.
I think I had a sarcasm once.
I don't actually own any of these movies on DVD, so here's a bottle of Sparkle Time Bubble Fruit mouthwash that I ration to circumvent my severe allergy to mint. Trolls is an interesting franchise. The films are by no means bad, but they don't rank first in any quantifiable category. There are better jukebox musicals, there are better films based on toy lines, and there's even a better piece of media inspired by Thomas Dam's dolls. If I had to pick a defining flaw for these movies, I would say they lack ambition. Studios like Disney and Illumination have been churning out inoffensive fodder as of late. But historically speaking, DreamWorks isn't afraid to try shit. Their catalog captures a wide pendulum swing of quality. For every Boss Baby or Turbo, there's a Puss in Boots 2, or a Shrek 2, or a How to Train Your Dragon 2. They're really good at making sequels.
Skadoosh.
This observation reveals a peculiar disparity with this IP. Trolls World Tour isn't an improvement over its predecessor. I would actually rank it dead last in the trilogy on the sole basis of James Corden having an extended supporting role.
I'll never survive the big house. We've got to get out of here.
Why do people keep hiring this man? I hate him so much.
Say leaves.
The first installment is easily the most cohesive. It's a subtle condemnation of consumerist culture that explores how people incorrectly expect happiness to come from external sources.
Happiness isn't something you put inside, it's already there. Sometimes you just need someone to help you find it.
Couple that with its awesome scrapbook aesthetic and annoyingly catchy soundtrack, and you've got a decent little blockbuster on your hands.
I will get back up again!
Aside from He Who Shall Not Be Named, Trolls' cast is quite solid. Anna, I Forgot I Was in Twilight Kendrick has an incredibly peppy voice for someone whose best acting role was an overly apathetic college student.
We sing covers of songs, but we do it without any instruments. It's all from our mouths. Yikes.
I love the Pitch Perfect movies, but I can't watch them anymore because they were filmed on LSU's campus. There's the asbestos-ridden library. There's the crappy student union. I had several sobbing meltdowns in that amphitheater.
Anywho.
Justin Timberlake is also here.
Why won't you sing?
Because singing killed my grandma, okay?
I made fun of Band Together's marketing for relying on NSYNC's Reunion to get more viewers, but then my mom begged me to watch the movie with her. That woman loves a good boy band.
We're not in sync. We've gone from boys to men, and now there's only one direction for us to go. The Backstreets.
Movie number 3 is otherwise pretty boring. It was nice to have Gristle and Bridget back, and Grandma Got Eaten is an all-time great line of dialogue.
Wait, Grandma got eaten?
But the villains were horribly uninspired.
Do you want to lose all this and go back to the dark place where we had nothing?
Please, sir, I want some more.
Girl, we grew up in the suburbs. Our parents were dentists.
I personally couldn't disassociate Andrew Rannell's voice from his character on Big Mouth. That's not necessarily a complaint. Matthew is the best thing about that cursed show, and it's not even close.
I already knew you were gay.
You did?
I know who you are, Matthew. I drove you to tap classes.
Despite grading it last, I find World Tour to be the franchise's most compelling entry. It shot for the stars and landed in the trees, which I think is more interesting than any project that shoots for the trees and lands in the dust. Well-intentioned media fascinates me, and music theory holds a special place in my heart.
In the beginning, there was silence.
Boring.
I'm no music historian. My understanding of the Circle of Fifths is rudimentary at best, but I do have over a decade's worth of experience as a student of the craft. I also grew up in the early 2000s. I'm intimately familiar with Queen Barb's talking points because I used to spout the exact same nonsense.
Pop music isn't even real music. It's bland, it's repetitive, the lyrics are empty.
There are two major ideological arguments pertaining to mainstream music discourse: rockism and poptimism. Rockism postulates that its titular genre is the normative state of popular music. Its proponents value things like artfulness and authenticity. To them, rock is the only true form of music. This is gatekeeping at its funniest.
And I will unite the trolls under one music. Our music!
Rockists have broadly been accused of being racist, sexist, and homophobic. These are harsh stereotypes, but they're not wholly incorrect. A brief glance at the Disco Sucks movement lends a lot of credence to this stance.
Yeah, I think your map is a bit outdated.
Oh, he's right. Look at that. It still has disco.
Poptimism developed in part as an antidote to this negativity. It asserts that pop music is a worthy and respectable genre that deserves professional attention. Commercial success is indeed a valid marker of quality, and cynicism shouldn't be the only celebrated approach to art.
Gnarly.
If you want a more in-depth understanding of this topic, just watch Any Given Todd in the Shadows video. My music history class was rather comprehensive, but that was 3 years ago, and my professor looked like the Walmart version of Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Why should I die?
Queen Barb fully subscribes to rockist philosophy. She doesn't respect any other form of music. Classical songs bore her, and she writes off techno as a bunch of quote-unquote bleeps and bloops. But pop receives the bulk of her ire.
The final notes of pop. It will never invade anyone's brain again.
There's an inherent level of irony to Barb's critiques. They don't exclusively apply to pop. Most songs, regardless of genre, adhere to the basic 4-chord progression. Repetition is a side effect of the tried-and-true verse-chorus structure. And earworms are desirable because staying power translates to financial success. Crazy Train is just as catchy as Who Let the Dogs Out. This fact strengthens her parallels with Poppy. The "we're not so different, you and I" trope is beyond cliché, but it almost works here.
You and me are the same, Popsqueak.
No, we're not.
The two queens are supposed to be each other's foils. Neither of them are good at listening, and both women struggle with the pressures of royalty.
Being queen can be kinda lonely.
Their visions of unity are in complete opposition. Barb wants to have one nation under rock, whereas Poppy wants all of the genres to coexist harmoniously. She is, fittingly enough, the film's resident poptimist, championing peace and wanting life to be one big troll-filled party. The only tribe she doesn't really understand is country, which is fair. Fuck country music.
We don't hope for making things better.
Branch also comes to support Poppy's stance after he meets the bounty hunter trolls.
Why does Barb get to decide which music gets to be saved? All music should be saved.
Each group belongs to a niche subgenre, which is initially amusing, but I have to point out a glaring discrepancy.
Who are you guys?
We are the K-pop gang.
The K in K-pop stands for Korean. Is there a troll Korea? Did the North and South territories also fight in a civil war that embodied the greater global struggle between communism and capitalism? Will some of their members have to complete mandatory military service a la BTS? These seem like silly questions to ask, but the Americans who were deployed in South Korea had a major influence on that country's style of music, including but not limited to phasing out the Eastern pentatonic scale for a Western heptatonic one.
You are the biggest fucking nerd.
Speaking of history, let's bitch about the plot twist that ruins this movie. Wait, no, I actually like that twist. It's clever and well foreshadowed. I'm talking about this scene.
The pop trolls started snatching up all of the strings. Oh no! Putting melodies on top of popular beats. They cut us out of the scene and then forgot what it really means. Not even publishers.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. Whataboutism is a rhetorical strategy where you respond to an accusation with a counter-accusation.
You suck!
No, you suck!
It's essentially a glorified method of deflection employed by politicians and lawyers. I hate this theme. It's a cowardly approach to storytelling that plagues children's media.
They're not like you and me, which means they must be evil. We must sound the drums of war.
Mainstream studios gravitate towards whataboutism because it absolves certain organizations from any tangible responsibilities. The government may have committed some atrocities, but you weren't exactly a perfect citizen, now were you?
Pop tried to destroy our music.
Just like Barb is trying to do.
Bruh.
This isn't to say that both sides can't be at fault for something, but this rhetoric is painfully present in human rights activism. Society celebrates peaceful protesters whilst vilifying any violent methods employed by overtly oppressed people. How dare you demand equality in such a distasteful fashion?
Are you kidding me?
Barbara, cut the power.
They're fighting dirty.
Trolls World Tour pivots more than halfway through its runtime to insert this dumb whataboutery, which isn't even accurate to the history of music.
Walking around like they were the geniuses, but it's only samples, auto-tune, and remixes.
Somebody's gotta tell him.
The Funk Tribe does condemn Barb's actions, but they also go out of their way to blame Poppy, which is frankly bizarre.
Steal your strings? That's not what it said in our scrapbooks.
Scrapbooks? Those are cut out, glued, and glittered by the winners.
What? There is in fact a genre of music that built its successful empire through exploitative means. White artists covered underappreciated black singers and made millions off of their songs, many of which had the lyrics watered down to omit their overly sexual undertones, which is a racist can of worms I don't even have time to open today. That genre of music wasn't pop. It was rock and roll.
You ain't nothing but a hound.
This movie clearly wanted to comment on real-world issues, but this is an epic thematic faceplant.
History repeats itself. Pop has ruined everything.
It's not like they didn't have a solid foundation to work with. The filmmakers could have leaned into an anti-isolationist message, or focused on the root of Barb's hatred for pop. I previously alluded to this, but loving rock music was preteen Jenny's defining personality trait. She wore it like a badge of honor. Nay, a medal of courage. Her taste in music was far superior to that of her peers. Rock songs were substantive. They were real art. Everything else on the radio paled in comparison. God, she was insufferable. Building an identity is hard. As you grow older, you latch onto the things you like and dislike because they serve as shortcuts to your inner sanctum. It's easy to make fun of pretentious hipsters, but psychologically speaking, enjoying something obscure feels nice because, deep down, every person wants to be unique. Liking a specific genre of music is not a personality trait, nor is it a sufficient replacement for self-actualization. The desire to eradicate all conflict is admirable, but Barb's approach is incredibly juvenile. Branch is right, differences do matter, and it's naive to pretend otherwise.
A world where everyone looks the same and sounds the same? That's not harmony!
I'm not going to preach some sweeping generalization about unity. The idea that you can still be friends with someone who fundamentally disagrees with you applies to small stuff like movie preferences or music taste. I strongly dislike Zootopia, but my best friend Madison loves it. This is not an impediment to our relationship.
I really hope she plays. Are you ready for it?
Madison, this is Avatar Live. When applied to politics, this mindset becomes infinitely more complex. James Arthur Baldwin once infamously said, "We can disagree and still love each other unless your disagreement is rooted in my oppression and denial of my humanity and right to exist." At the end of the day, making space for someone who has hateful opinions only benefits the bigot. Being friends with that person doesn't mean you're inherently mature or virtuous, nor does it make you vile and irresponsible. Civility is a case-by-case basis. You are the only person who can define your social circle, so choose wisely.
It's all right, Barbara. Just let everyone be what they want to be, including you.
I would love to know how they convinced Ozzy Osbourne to be in this movie. Cameoing in South Park is one thing, but how exactly did his agent pitch trolls to him? You both have fabulous hair?
Aw, there it is. Yeah! Rock and roll!